welcome to Your World on Thursday edition. And today, you know, every single Thursday we tell you things that are trending. We talk about things that are making some certain kind of waves in whatever industry it is. And today is no exception because today we are delving in the world of theater. I don't want to say much because sisi kama wana sarakasi tuko na nini onyesho. Oh my God. So we have a performance for you, for sure. We do. And we're going to start from this hand, which is this one, left, all the way. Jackie.
So all I can say is that I am happy today that I am alive.
Okay. I would just like to say thank you very much that we are here. And I thought she was saying one word.
All. You're saying she said a sentence. All I can say is that I'm
and then
happy.
you start with a B.
I thought she said one word and it goes all.
No. So she said a sentence. All she can say is that she's happy.
I messed it up already in the first minute.
Wow, Mr. Director.
Okay.
Should we start?
Right.
Yeah.
I've not thought about what I'm going to say. Go on.
Ready? Someone had to mess up this game.
Because I wasn't told in advance what we were going to do, so I'm just making it up as we go along.
Christ, you really surprise us sometimes.
Diabolical doesn't even start to describe it.
Everybody did a good job other than you know who.
It's a good way to end it.
And that's how we ended. We told a story that we had not even thought about. And that is what theater is all about. They come together, they do something. Like if Stuart had not done the thing, you know, you wouldn't have known that we hadn't planned it. But hey, karibuni sana to Thursday edition. And today our main topic is passing the baton, and we're looking at what theater looked like back in the day and what it looks like now, and the milestones that have been taken over the years to make sure that these skills are passed on. Over the years, we've seen most of the big actors that we know in this country probably are self-taught. Got in there, learned on the job, and they grew over time. But we've seen a huge growth when it comes on to passing on skills. We've seen a huge growth where we've seen master classes. We've seen universities now doing a little something when it comes to theater, which is a great, great thing. And the question we're asking you today, since we're in the world of theater, is if you could revive any Kenyan classic play, which one would it be? If you could revive any Kenyan classic, classic play, which one would it be? NTV Kenya is our social media handle on all our social media platforms, so you can interact with us on that. Our lines are open as well. Call us in and let us know which is that classical play that you would want to just sit down, watch it one more time. And of course, I'm going to be getting that answer from my guests here today. And it's time to introduce to you the amazing panel that I have here today. Starting on my immediate left is the one, I have to do this because I will forget what hand it is. Is the one and only, I really, really do love this man, Maura Bilal. Lovely to have you on the show.
Love you right back.
Really good to have you. And right next to Maura Bilal is a award-winning Wewe. Huku akijiintroduce, maybe nikupatie muda mjiintroduce kama wasanii. Amna neno. Nifanye nini? Okay, acha nifanye basi. Hivi ndio wakiwa watajiintroduce. Voice, screen, stage, actor, theater producer, all of that. Award-winning Wakiwa Mzenge. Lovely to have you on the show.
Yes, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stuart, Nigwe Kufikia, are you ready? Are you ready? I know these kind of things make you feel very awkward, but Stuart Nash, director, performing arts, and founder of Nairobi Performing Arts Studio.
Yeah.
Lovely to have you here.
Thank you very much for
And
having
of course, you've been we'll talk about all of that though. And then on the extreme left is actor Jacqueline. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much for having me.
Lovely to have you. So, asante sana, nimesikia hiyo maneno. Oh my God, there it goes. Okay, earpiece imeenda kwenye ilikuwa inaenda. But we're talking about theater then and what theater looks like now. And I know so many things have been said about this. But the question is, how do we feel about what it looks like now? Because here it is where it is. This is where we are at. And Maura, you've been in the industry for how long now?
29 years.
Jamani. Mtoto alianza akapata ID.
29.
29 years.
2007 to 18 years now. We'll be 18 years this year. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How's the journey been for you? And like the question I asked earlier, where we are self-taught and there's a lot of skills that are being passed on now. For you at the beginning, was it just a passion? How did you get in? And have you been able to learn from people who are ahead of you or not?
Yeah, thank you. Interesting question. When I started this journey, I was privileged. I was privileged to join the industry when vibrant actors were still in the game, before they were swallowed by the Papa Shirandulas, the mother-in-laws. So I was able to learn at the feet of some of the very best. I'm talking about the Derek Kamungas of this world. I'm talking about Angel Waroinge. I'm talking about Sam Otieno, the late R.I.P. I'm talking about Jacob Otieno, Gilbert Lucalia, and all those. So I was really privileged to come into the industry when they were still practicing actively, and I could learn and immerse myself in the world. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 18 years, how long has it been for you? And was it directly theater or did you start with screen?
Theater.
Yeah.
Professionally, it's 11 years this year. Started in 2014. My experience is pretty much similar to Bilal's.
Yeah.
But there was I would say there was no intentional passing on of the knowledge. It was more, the intentionality came from the actor. Now from me trying to learn from what I'm seeing and but it was not the other way around. Like the actors who are there, they were not intentionally creating avenues for us to learn from them, but they were present.
Yeah.
And just being in their presence allowed us to learn from them as well. Yeah, that was my experience.
And so the thing is, as an actor, I'm the one who to follow up. And it's not because it was malicious, it's probably because they were just living their lives. They were just, just hustling and working.
I would say it's just like, well, I equate everything to parenthood nowadays. But it's just like parents, you know, when parents are raising their children, they probably just winging it. Sometimes they really don't know what they're doing it, but they have the right intentions. So I look at them as they had the right intentions, of course, but they didn't know that they had to teach you, they had to put you in a class, or they had to do a workshop, or they had to do a master class. You were learning on the job as they were doing the thing, and it was okay because they could see the growth as well in you. And the beautiful thing that I experienced, especially with someone like Gilbert Lucalia, is that they would recognize the change, they would recognize the milestones, and they would acknowledge that there is movement from where you came in and now as you're moving. But it was not like intentionally, I'm going to be doing a workshop or a master class. It came on later on.
Okay. Stuart, I met you, I think, in 2016. The first time I met you was 2016. I think you were putting up, was it Jesus Christ Superstar?
That was 2018.
2018. And was it 20? Whoa, okay. I thought it was way back. And we've seen you put up, I'll speak for self. Watching the shows that you've put up over the years, I think it was the very first time I saw something that I'd never seen in this industry. I'd gone to theater, I'd performed in the same stages over the years, but I'd never seen something so spectacular. And you've held on to that over the years. Bringing that into the scene here, was it because there was a need, or you're just bringing something that you knew how to do? This is how it's done, and I'm just...
It wasn't there was no intention behind it. I was just doing that show, and that's how I imagined it should be. I wasn't aware of, excuse me, of what had gone on before, what hadn't gone on before. It was just how I imagined the show should be.
And what was the feedback then? Was it the same as mine? Those ones for, oh my God, what is happening? Is there a car on stage? Is that a convertible doing stunts on stage? Yeah.
I think that for anything, any TV, film or theatre, that don't feel restricted, because I know that a lot of the stuff that we do, if I'd have said to somebody in the first place, can we do this?
Yeah.
They'd have said no.
Yeah.
But if you just go for it, you'll find a way to do it. I don't think there's any stunts or ideas or anything that we've had that we've not managed to do in some way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And having a play that's coming up right now, I'm sure everybody's just asking, what is it going to be? Because we've seen you probably push the boundaries when it comes to some things. So is Wakio on her shows. You go watch her show and you're just like, huh? What was that? Jackie, I know they've said there are many years in the scene, but maybe you can tell us, how long have you been in the industry?
So I've taken 5 years, it's now 5 years, but professionally it's 3 years.
Aha, the 2 years, what was happening there?
That was set books.
Aha.
I started with set books immediately after high school. So then I decided to go to school, but I didn't want to go to campus. So I searched for a school that offers acting school.
Okay.
Yes. And I didn't want to go to a campus school because I thought they will teach me theory, and I don't want to learn theory. I want to learn practical acting.
Okay.
So I saw Serafina being advertised, and I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
Is that their social media handle? Went and searched, then so they had a school, and joined Nairobi Performing Arts School, and from there I started doing acting professionally.
So all the actors here, inclusive of self, ni mmoja peke yake ameenda shule hapa ya acting school. From the onset. And how was that when you interact with other people who probably are self-taught, or are probably just, I'm going to find my way into this thing without probably going to school? Would you say that different or unique things that you got that probably they didn't because of going through that journey?
So interestingly is that most of these not taught actors have gone to workshops and master classes. So that's also getting taught. So there's so much to learn from them, and also there's so much to learn from the directors who are teaching you in school. But it has all been exciting, I can say that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
since then, there's a term that I hear actors using lately. I'm a working actor. So is that how it's been since?
Yes.
You've been a working actor?
For the 3 years, I have been a working actor.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. Yeah. Maura, you've cut across, not just from the theater space, but also film. And there's a thing that you do with all your performances, I have to say. I think you lose yourself into them. I don't know what professional term to use for that. But you absolutely get into that person to even, I know, you know what I'm talking about. There's the I think it's on Showmax, or is it Netflix?
Which one?
The one that you speak Arabic.
And Somali.
Somali, is it Somali?
Mpakani.
Yeah, Mpakani, that's the one. So, and it's not just the one, it's in every single show that you get. How do you, what is the process for you to getting into that, and how long does it take? Does it have a timeline? Ama, do you just, I got a role, I'm gonna wing it? Do you take last minute calls? Tukona karol hapa hivi, utaingia character very fast and do it. I mean, those ones for, if it's not a month, I have to go live in Somaliland for 5 months and then come back, people.
I think for an actor, it's of paramount importance to understand your terrain.
Okay.
I do take last minute calls.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I know it's been, the way I approach my characters has evolved over the years. And before I say anything, we were part of a show where I think it finally clicked for me, where now I realized the value and beauty of just letting the character take over.
Okay.
This is that show where you were dying on stage. Sorry.
Oh, we were on a show. Oh, that's what you meant. We were on a show together. Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah. What was it called? It was a breathe. It was
after breathe. It was one of those.
It was a hard name.
Yeah.
It was
Back to Basics.
Back to Basics.
Yes,
it was Back to Basics.
Yes,
show, yes.
Where I was playing the priest.
Yes, and I was dying on stage. Yeah.
And how it came to that was also an accident. I didn't really have time to get into the backstory of my character like I had with the other shows I had done before.
Yeah.
And so I realized a day to the show, I didn't have this guy. And I don't know, I just decided, okay, I don't have him, but I'm not gonna stress. Let me go, let me see what he does.
What he does.
And he did things. And after that, and actors ask me about backstory and everything.
Yeah, do you create characters uko nyuma nyuma?
These days, honestly, not really.
Okay.
Not as much as before. Not as much as before. Because then I realized I was feeding the character too much. Bilal was telling the character things too much instead of allowing the character to just inhabit his world and do his thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, and I am glad.
Do you think the reason probably you don't do the backstory is probably because you've seasoned? It's just you found a different way to do it? Niwache ufikirie.
You're seasoning bad.
Seasoning bad, we wouldn't go there. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
If you're doing a character that you just see in a play or a TV show, that all you know about that character is really from what's on the page there, have you approached Dedan Kimathi differently, knowing that there's a history, an established history? Or did you not? Or did you just...
Yeah, for that...
We are going to take a commercial break, and then when we come back, you're going to answer Stuart's question, okay? All right. So the question of the day today, you have time to think about it. The question of the day today is, if you could revive any Kenyan classical play, which one would it be? If you could revive any Kenyan classic play, which one would it be? NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Your World Thursday edition. And on this Trendy Thursday, we're talking about Matters Theatre, and we're talking about passing on the baton, the theatre that used to be back in the day, what it looks like now. And the question we're asking you today, if you could revive any Kenyan classic play, which one would it be? If you could revive any Kenyan classic play, which one would it be? Kipiegon K Maritim on Facebook says, Redemption by David Mulwa. And I Will Marry When I Want by Ngugi wa Thiong'o. So that you can keep them coming through. Kuna tu anasema Echoes of War. Did you watch it? Is it a classic? Yeah? Let us know. The question is, if you could revive one Kenyan classic play, which one would it be? NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. Call us, our lines are open, our WhatsApp number as well. Tunaweza kupata majibu yako. Before the break, Stuart had a question for the star of the trial of Dedan Kimathi, Bilal Mwaura. Swali umeulizwa. Did you take time? What was the process like for you to prepare for this role, knowing the history that probably all Kenyans know, and we're going to find out more about Dedan?
Look, sometimes the action is backstage more than on stage. So when that question was asked, we went for a break, and Memzwana here very eloquently explained exactly what my approach, because it was a twin approach.
Yeah.
This being a historical figure, I really had to. Also, I was privileged for Dedan because I'm a history buff.
Yes, you are.
There was some I knew, but there's a lot more I've learned about him that has actually shifted my heart more towards him and his excellence. And so, here she is. Yeah, please explain. Please, exactly.
Wakio, whatever you were saying, and I told you during the break, please. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Stuart, his approach was basically just a blend of two. It's the backstories he talked about earlier on, that he was feeding the character of information so that the character can exist in the past before the time they meet them on the script. And then, but this one being a historical figure had already a past. Of course, we cannot know everything about Dedan, even from the text that we have, historical backgrounds and whatnot. So he has to blend two. He has to create some things that would explain some of his actions and desires, and because we never know how he took a bath, for instance.
Yeah.
From up down, or from down up, or from the armpits first. You know, people always start differently.
Yeah.
So those little nuances about him are what the power of imagination allows him to create, and then he blends it together with what we already know. So I think that was your approach, wasn't it?
Mwalimu. Yes.
Stuart, was that okay?
I was just interested because I know that a lot of times actors will look, they create a backstory, maybe, or you don't, but you know, but they only really know what's on the page from that point forward.
Going forward.
Yeah, so they have to invent everything. Yeah. Whereas, okay, there'll be clues in the script about if somebody mentions, oh, I was brought up in Nyeri or whatever.
Yes.
But with this one, there is, yes, it's not complete, but there is a lot of stuff we already know. So I guess it was like an amalgamation of invention and imagining and what we know.
And also for TV, I think sometimes the challenge, especially if you're in a series, a long-running series, you create a backstory and then the story arc goes somewhere completely different.
Yeah.
It just throws you off.
So I think the theatre is a bit different.
Yeah, theatre it's grounded. You have the play there as is.
Okay. So. And joining us is Wilfred Ombui. Karibu sana.
Thank you for having me.
Uko inje, things are happening, but we're happy you're here.
We are planning things out there.
Yeah. We're happy that you're here, and I think probably just an introduction of self and probably how long you've been in the industry, how it's been for you, and have you actively gotten skills as an actor to help you in the industry, or as a person who is actively a working actor?
Well, so to start off, my name is Wilfred Ombui Makori. Out there, people call me Pablo. Yeah. So I've been in the industry for, I'd say, 6 years.
Okay.
3 years I was maybe amateur, just learning the skill and just the passion. And then after a while now, that's when I started doing acting professionally. Now after realizing what I can do with art. Okay. So that's when I started acting theater, writing maybe poetry and stuff. And then along the road, that's when I met Pakio through the PSP program. And then that's where now what I knew about acting now changed all differently because of what I learned through the PSP program.
Okay. Now that we've gotten into the PSP program, before we get into NPAS and what it does, Pokeza Skills Program is an initiative that you started, Wakio. Maybe you can tell us where it came from and what it actually does.
Okay. First of all, you've stolen our hashtag, passing on the baton.
Passing on the baton.
The title of your show, but yeah, kudos to you.
Yeah.
So I'm a teacher by profession. And always I have known that at some point in my life, I will have to merge the things that I'm good at and the things that I studied and put them all together. And it just occurred to me that this would be a good time to merge my teaching skills with the thing that I enjoy doing, which is performing in theater. And I had just participated in the County Theater Fiesta, courtesy of Kenya International Theater Festival. And it was my experience there that I felt like this is it, this is the time, because we were training theater actors from different counties, and I had an opportunity to see the gaps and to see what people really needed in terms of skill sets and knowledge transfer. And so that's how Pokeza Skills Program was born. And it's basically a peer-to-peer transfer of knowledge. And we're not just focusing on developing the craft or the talent. We are working on our participants to leave the program being entrepreneurs. Most of us are sole proprietors in this craft. Yeah. So we are equipping them with more than just the talent development. We're equipping them with skills like money matters, governance and leadership. Actually, this year we're doing governance and leadership. We're training them on the legal landscape that we operate in, and all this added value that allow them to be successful entrepreneurs in the craft.
Ooh. Yeah. And how long has this been going on?
So this, he was the pioneer students in cohort 1. This year we're going to cohort 2. We're starting at the 30th of June this year, and we're excited to take them through 12 weeks of good training and knowledge exchange.
Great. And this is what we're talking about today, the availability of such now, because for sure, self-taught, learning on ground, asking Wakio, hapo unaona tumefanya aje, when you're on stage with Bilal, how can you help me with this? But NPAS has been in operation for quite a bit as well. Nairobi Performing Arts Studio, just for anyone who's hearing that for the first time. What was the need there, and how did that come about, and how long has it been in operation?
It started in 2018, and actually it started because I was told that there was nowhere teaching acting, especially to students who had left secondary school. Because then you know there's the whole drama festivals thing. There's a lot of but there's a lot of activity in drama and acting when students are in school, and then suddenly when they leave school, there's just like nothing. It just stops. So we really developed this program for school leavers who wanted to continue acting. We do dance and voice training as well, but we arrange it in a time so that they can come after university or after whatever they're doing, or if they have a job after that. So it's evenings and weekends more than like a full-time full-time commitment.
Jacqueline, you went through this program. And we have Wilfred who went through the PSP program as well. How has it been for you, especially because I think Jacqueline had told us that she's gotten jobs after that. She's a working actor now. For you, how has it been since you gained those skills? It's a year ago. I mean,
it's 1 year. I think one, I learned a lot about the stage acting. Not just that, but also the legal side of art and the financial, how you can use that to earn. So from there, I started actively pitching programs, maybe ideas to some organizations which I didn't know how to do, but through the program, I learned the legal way to approach such situations. And I can say it's moving on swiftly for me. Still 1 year, yes, it's kind of easy to determine whether it's long or a small time, but it's promising.
Okay. And Jackie, you're actually in this particular play that is being the trial of Gotwero Kwa Dedan Kimathi. So you're part of that. And Bilal as well. Bilal, are you passing on the skills actively? Jacqueline akikutafuta backstage, that's when you're doing it. Ama, you're part of the cohort 2 this year. PSP to help and pass on the skills. You're rich in that.
Once in a while, I masquerade as an acting for film teacher at the Kenya Film School. But had 2 sessions this last month.
Wow.
Scheduling issues.
Hey, working actor.
But over the years, I've had people come to me for what? What's the word? Mentorship. But I don't know. Sometimes maybe it's where I'm coming from. Maybe I was a bit spoiled in the beginning.
Spoiled how? What do you mean?
Because I had all these people, all this...
You are those people now.
I know.
You are those people.
It's just that sometimes I feel that in the absence of structure, sometimes I feel that those that want to come learn, sometimes it's a challenge having them with you. I don't know, man. So no. Not really.
You took us through all of that for a no. But then you're doing something. It's not like you're not doing anything about it. You're masquerading, quote unquote, which I don't know why we are quoting it.
However, I have people come to me after performances, after watching me, and telling me I picked something from there. I have people coming to me after watching a monologue I did and telling me, look, I sampled this from you. So I take that as doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Inspiring in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'm not really good at teaching one-on-one.
Yeah.
But when I do it, because even when I go to Kenya Film School, we've never had a theory class. We just dive into it. Maybe I should teach myself the skill, how to impart knowledge.
Kama mwalimu.
Yeah,
but there are people like Jackie who wanted the proper.
Actually, the thing is, we don't all have to do the teaching.
Yeah.
But we are all sharing our knowledge in one way or the other.
Okay.
If someone is going to watch Bilal and pick something, that's an active actor who wants to learn.
Yeah.
And even with Pokeza Skills Program, we're not taking anyone and everyone. We're taking people who are already in motion, people who are already showing the interest, people who are shagituma. They've already gone to the theater, they're already doing maybe set books, they're already doing something, they're already doing plays or doing monologues online, but you're doing something. Because you have to be in the ecosystem for you to be able to harness from it or to harvest from it.
Yeah.
If you're not in that space, if you don't volunteer, for instance, or you don't present yourself to be an ensemble on a show like The Trial of Dedan Kimathi, you will not encounter Bilal.
Yeah.
You cannot pick his brain.
No.
You cannot be able to see his experiences and his process. So you have to be in that space. So ni kujituma kwanza, and then you will learn either through classes like in NPAS or our sessions in PSP or master classes and workshops, or from watching other people doing it. But you have to be active. You have to be there.
Yeah, and I like that you bring out that you need to show the zeal, the willingness to want to be a part of that. With NPAS, Stuart, do we see that? Are we signing up for these classes as actors? Or we're just like, I'll just learn, you know, I'll just be okay, I'll be hanging out there, I will learn as I go. Are we acting? No?
Yeah, you know, no, in terms of, no, we're not just hanging out there.
Oh, okay.
So our classes, we have the program I told you that's after school or after evenings and weekends, and they are actively involved in production as well. So, Jackie, what was the first show you did?
Gahika.
Oh, it's Gahika Deda.
Okay.
So, yeah, so the students that we have for this term will be in the show that we're doing.
Whoa.
Yeah, so when Jackie was a student, she was in I'll Marry When I Want.
I'm guaranteed as a student to be on a show?
Yeah.
You?
No, well,
if I'm a student.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lord.
So all the people that have been in our students have all been in. They've had the opportunity to be in the show. Some of them, they start the program and maybe they want to be backstage. They're more interested in directing. So some of them will sit with me and they'll shadow what I do, or producing or something like that. Occasionally there'll be somebody who's interested in lighting or sound.
Yeah.
But the majority would take the path that Jackie did, and there'll be a student of acting, and then they'll be in the show as well.
Was that your first, Jackie, was that the first, what did you call it? Professional kind of gig for you, Gahika?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was the first show that I did professionally in a big theatre, Kenya National Theatre, and I got paid. Yeah.
Hapo mwisho sana sana. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And have you been able to get more jobs from that? And if well, let me just add on to that. Getting jobs and probably the availability of those opportunities for actors who are getting it, probably Janelle, Sikama Bilal, yenye anatafutwa, and then scheduling issues. You know what I mean? So, well, all love here. So how has that been for you?
I would say,
yes,
in addition to what Wakio has said,
yes,
hata ukipatiwa platform or a school, if you're given a show, you have to want to get other jobs.
Okay.
So outside here, there are things like headshots, there are things like monologues. If you don't have those, and if you don't want to get those, you won't get jobs. So even if you're in a school and you're guaranteed a show in NPAS, you still have to go out there and work and want and research to get other jobs.
Other jobs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the kind of work probably, Wilfred, you're putting in now that you've gotten the skills, you went through PSP last year, you've been out for a whole year. What are some of the things that you've done to just make sure that you show what you've learned and to also probably be available for anyone who's shopping for, there's a role coming up, there's a show coming up?
Oh, so for me, I recently featured in a show. It was Odds and Ends. No, not Odd. Bank Otuchi. Yeah, Bank Otuchi was the most recent, yeah. And the difference between the two shows, how I used to market and after the PSP program, I think for this other show I think the money was good. Also the way I was performing, the way I went for the interview, it was a whole different thing back then. So it has been a stepping stone, I can say, and now I can be able to. I want to more of scale up, and then to focus on a specific niche.
Okay. Yeah. On a specific niche. Do you feel like do you want to add something to that?
No, I think the whole thing with training, and which we're talking about today, passing on the baton, however you go for it.
Yes.
The thing about training is like, allow me to be a little bit preachy with this. You see, there's a parable in the Bible about the seeds and the seed and the sower.
Yeah.
And the sower threw the seeds in different places. There are seeds that went on thorny ground, the seeds that went on the fertile ground, the seeds that went on the wayside that were trampled on. So even if you go to a training, a school, or you go for training workshops and everything, how prepared are you? How is your soil? Is it fertile ground or is it thorny ground? Because you can go for many master classes.
Yeah.
You can go for so many workshops and you can enroll in PSP, you can be in NPES, but if you are not fertile ground, then it's going to be choked and it will not sprout, it will not grow, it will eventually not bear fruit. So it's not about the classes that you attend, it's about how prepared you are to actually absorb that knowledge that is being shared with you.
Yeah.
Can I add to that?
Yes, please.
I absolutely agree, and I think there are people out there who just think, oh, I want to be an actor, but they don't realise the work that's involved in becoming a really good actor. Yeah, there are some people that can just turn up on stage and they'll be absolutely brilliant, or their first show, the film they ever do, they win an Oscar. But, you know, most of us, we need to put in an awful lot of work.
Yeah.
And I feel that sometimes, I don't know how you feel, but people kind of underestimate what is they see as theatre or acting as something, or, you know, like a fun thing to do, and they don't really have that real commitment that you need. And it takes years and years. So, and I also agree with what Becky said about you need to be in that environment.
Yeah.
That's so important. You can't just sit at home and wait for jobs to come, because they won't.
Yeah.
You know, you really, I know as a producer and a director, the people that are at the front of my mind when it comes to casting are people that I see around.
Absolutely.
It's just a natural thing. So it's either people I've worked with before, or people I've seen in things, or people that I see at the National Theatre who might not have jobs, but they're kind of just, they're there.
Yeah.
And they tend to be the people that when something comes up, my mind goes to them.
That is so true, and I think I can relate as on a personal level. That's how I got back in theatre, and Maura comes into the picture again, because he was actively working in that space and I wasn't. I was just, I stopped, I went back to school, and then after school now I'm working and I have freedom and I want to get back. So I'll meet Maura and be like, Maush, kuna auditions, umesikia auditions, and then we meet again, umesikia auditions, and then one day he said, I've organized auditions for KU students. You just come in and say you're a KU student. I said, yes, I will be there. And I showed up as a KU student, and I wasn't, and all his friends didn't get the job.
You got it.
I got the job.
Wow.
I did. So it is true. Being in the ecosystem, wanting it so bad, knocking doors, I think all of that put together puts you in a good place. We're going to take a very short commercial break, but when we come back, I'd like to know, of course, we're going to talk about Dedan when we come back. We have a clip for you as well, for you to just see, like a small teaser of amazing things. But I also like to find out how people get to join PSP. What does it entail? What do I have to have? What is the process of that? I saw the call is out. So for anyone who's looking to get into that, how do they get into that as well? And I mean, if I'm paying, if I'm not paying, you know, I need to know all of that after the break. But the question we're asking you today is, if you could revive any Kenyan classic play, which one would it be? If you could revive any Kenyan classic play, which one would it be? Engage with us, NTV Kenya, on all our social media platforms, and we will come back with your responses after this break.
If I die not for a flag, nor for a name. I die for Kenya, where no man, no woman, no child shall be hunted down by the greed of another. Fight the systems that link the blood of workers and peasants. Tear down the walls of tribe and let us climb together towards the mountain top of our nation.
Today is the 19th, isn't it? Yeah. It gives me chills to watch that and to imagine how it's just been brought to life. Mwaura, you look like him. You do.
You know.
You do.
People have been hating on red eyes.
On your red eyes. They did not know everything was good up to this moment.
They didn't know.
When you say that.
They didn't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know, man. I don't know. And Stuart knows when he made the call, there was a bit. Now, looking back, I think it was that spiritual call that when it comes, sometimes you don't feel ready. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it wasn't for whatever reasons Stuart knows I was on about. It was that, the realization that this is momentous moment. It's hairy and scary. And it's a call. It's a call. So yeah, thank you.
How did this happen?
I knew I wanted him to play the role and I called him. Just that, it's nothing fancy. Usually, with casting, it's usually made up of people that I've worked with before, people that I've seen in things that I want to work with, like Thwita, who's in this, or Fisher, who was in Vinyeji, or there's people that, or some like Senjan, who was in Stingy, or we do auditions as well. So, but for this, it was just obvious to me that Bilal was the one. Yeah, I didn't talk to anybody else at all.
Wow. Jackie, what role are you playing in this?
I am playing the role of Gal. Yes.
What does she do? Without giving too much, even though my actors will say, I don't want to give too much. But I'm just,
well, without giving too much.
Yes.
Gal is a representation of the future, how the future is going to help fight for corruption and all that, na tuweke Kenya mbele. So, yeah. There is a role called woman, boy, then girl. So woman is the representation of the past. No, Dedan is the representation of the past.
Yes.
Woman is the representation of the present, and then boy and girl is the representation of the future. So yeah. So you will see from Dedan, you'll see how the past fought for us, fought for Kenya.
Yes.
Then with woman, how the present happened, how we got fought for during the present, and now the future, how it's going to be when we included us as kids. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And talking about Ngugi wa Thiong'o, may his soul rest in peace. This is not the first play that you're doing, and I think, was it Gahika that was banned before?
Yeah, so we did I'll Marry When I Want in 2022. Bilal was in that as well. Actually won the Best Actor award for that as well. So that was in 2022, and actually Ngugi had asked us after that if we could look at doing a play of his called Mother Sing for Me, which we were planning to do this year. But it's a musical, it's never been done before. There was some work that needed to be done on it, and it's a musical and there were a lot of songs in it. And I knew we had these dates booked for June at the National Theatre, and I was just a bit, I felt that it wasn't enough time to get the show on to the level that it needed to be. So I just called him in January this year and just said, you know, we're thinking of doing Trial of Nkimadi, and he was like, yeah, do it. And what was really nice as well is that, so I'll Marry When I Want was written originally in Kikuyu, and then there was an English translation done. But Dada Nkimadi was only written in English. So we've had a Kikuyu translation done. Yeah, because I'm seeing we have shows in Kikuyu and shows in... Yeah, so it's the same actors, or do you have like... actors. Oh, yeah? Okay. So it's the first time it's ever been done in Kikuyu. Okay, what are you saying?
So you had to be a Kikuyu or a Kikuyu speaker?
Authentic Kikuyu speaker.
Authentic. That's the best to me. That's for me. Because
was there a role you were looking at?
No.
But okay. So there is a role in Mother Sing for Me that she's doing, and she has to speak Kikuyu. But it's different. That's different because it is about people coming from all over the country. Yeah. So they don't have to be authentic Kikuyus. But in this one,
And Bilal, so you have 2 rehearsals. What happens when you're with the Kikuyu bit? You translate as you go. How does it work during rehearsals for that?
Yeah, sometimes we just do the
learn isiku ya Kikuyu.
Yeah, sometimes. Have we mixed it up?
Yeah. So we just So you do all the blocking in the English version, and then we do those scenes in Kikuyu as well.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so it's.
But that helps because for I Will Marry When I Want, man, it was a baptism by fire.
How so?
I would switch. Oh yeah.
You speak Kikuyu well, Maura.
Personally, I would come from a Kikuyu show.
Yeah.
If the second show is in English, I would have my R's and errors tripping over each other for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I don't think that had been done before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. That's also a first. Would you consult? Would you consult with probably with Ngoge? Like we're doing Hikadeda, this is what I'm thinking to translate this in this way, and would he like chime in to be like maybe keep this, do not remove this?
He wasn't. Not really, but he just was really excited that we were doing a Kikuyu, because there was a Kikuyu translation that was started a few years ago, but it was never finished. So we looked at using that and building on it, but then in the end we just decided to just do a whole new version from scratch. Okay.
Are we looking to celebrate him in any way during this performances? Is there something planned for that?
Maybe. Actually, we do. I don't want to give too much away, but you hear him in the performance. There's actually a recording that he recorded something for us for the show. I asked him to record something about I don't know, a couple of weeks before he passed, and he ended up sending. He must have done it, I suppose, about 4 days before he passed, and he sent it to us.
Oh my goodness!
And actually, it's that you saw.
The video that we just.
Yeah, but that's part of the show. Okay. So you'll hear it. Anybody who comes to see the show will hear him in the show.
Okay. Wakio, roping you into this conversation because we've seen Stewart pick up books, and you were part of Francis Mbuga's Betrayal in the City. Yeah. Is it intentional for you to go just speaking this? What writer are we looking at next? And Wakio, how did you get that role as well?
Oh, actually, that was a referral.
Oh.
So he'd cast...
Was it the first time you were working with NPAS?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the first time I was working with NPAS, or rather the first time I was working with Stuart Nash.
Yes.
There was a lady, Midimo, was cast for that role.
Okay.
And then she was not available. I think she was doing her own Shamba Shape Up. I think they were on tour.
Yeah.
And and she was not able to do it, and she referred me to Stuart, and that's how I got that role for Betrayal of the City.
I've forgotten about that. Yeah, it's true.
So make friends, people. Make friends. Have people refer you to shows.
But how many shows did we did 4 shows together last year?
Yeah,
4. Wow.
Once you're referred,
you're in.
The ecosystem. This is what we were talking about. Be in the ecosystem and be doing good things while you're still at it. With the PSP, and maybe just before I come to you, maybe Wilfred will tell me, how did you get on it? How did you hear about it last year, and what was required of you as a student?
At the time, as I said, I was a beginning actor. So I was just associating myself with many WhatsApp groups, maybe art groups. So that's where I saw a link. You know, as an actor, I just try anything. You never know where it will get you to.
Yeah.
So in a link, I'm like, oh, okay, it's a program, not about really acting. Okay, I didn't know the entire thing, but I just said, let me just click on it, see what it is required of me. So I uploaded just some few questions, what you have been up to, doing what you're currently doing in the theater space. I mean the acting space, sorry. So yeah, nikachil. Sinisha apply, so let me
apply no kangoja.
Kangoja. So I think it took a while. I didn't kasahau, and then I got a call from Fedari. Kanambia kuna program you applied for. I think they requested for headshot, I think. And then your time ilikuwa job. So I'm like, okay, ni complicated tena nika push. Then I can call 10. I'm like, okay, so it's that serious. So nikatuma headshot, and then fast forward, start tukapatana. It was that Saturday tunapatana. I'm like, okay, nilikuwa naona ikiwa kitu ndogo, but now it seems to be a big thing. Then as time goes by, the lectures, the trainers, akina Tosh, akina Wakio herself, Mato, I'm like, okay, these are big people doing big things in the industry, so this must be a very serious thing. So you both can learn, and here we are.
Okay. So what is it you're looking for, because I'm sure that there were many people who applied for the PSP program. What is it that you look out for? The questions in there, why are they important? What are you looking for in the person that is joining, is looking to join PSP?
So our focus is mostly on theater. We are building theater actors. So you have to be in the theater space.
Okay.
We'd be interested for you to be associated or affiliated to a theater company that is existing. Why? Because our model is based on the relay race. So we want to pass on the knowledge to you, but we expect you also to pass it on. So being in a theater company is what we are looking for, someone who's already actively affiliated or associated with a theater company, so that the knowledge that we give you, you're able to take it to the theater company that you work with.
Okay.
Yeah, those are some of the things we're looking for. And sometimes it's really, really hard to get to the 20 that we're looking for.
Oh, it's just 20?
We're only selecting 20. And like even the first day after we launched the call, we had around 100 people applying on that day. So what basically that tells us, because we're also collecting data, what tells us is that there is a huge need for knowledge transfer. There's a huge need for skill sets transfer. And many people maybe are not able to afford mainstream institutions, the universities that are offering this kind of trainings. Many people also are not maybe able to attend master classes that are being paid for. And so because our program is usually at no cost for the participant.
At no cost?
Yeah. And I think that's why...
Ata shilingi?
Just commitment.
What?
We just need
your commitment. Your commitment
exactly.
to the cost.
I love that you say that, because yes, your commitment
then
is
how do you take care of 20 people, Wakio? I mean, for 12 weeks, you said?
Yes, for 12 weeks, but 12 weekly, because we have once a week. Last year, the program was self-funded, but was also supported by friends. This year, we've been able to partner with institutions that have allowed us to really go to the ground in terms of our cost of production. So we are working with the Kenya Cultural Center. They are the official host of the program. So that is exciting because we don't have to pay for the space anymore. And it's not just a venue, it's just the partnership and the idea of improving the sector as well. It's a program that is helping improve the sector. So they felt the need to also invest in it.
It's a perfect place to do it as well, isn't it?
It is the perfect place. Exactly. Yeah. Because then we also have a lot of producers who hang around there. You can always, you know, pass by and invite them to come and see what we're doing, which is really, really good.
Also, you have access to the stage, the facilities, all of that as well.
I agree. Last year, they did give us the space for our final showcase, but this year it's really we're at peace because we have a home, and that's really, really amazing. With institutions that are partnering with us, part of the things that we saw was a gap from last year's cohort is that we were not training them on governance and leadership. And we felt the need because, you know, even in the situation we're in now, people really need to understand that they have a role to play in governance and in leadership and policy development and policy making. And so that's why we partner with Emerging Leaders Forum Africa. And they will be helping us to train our actors to understand how to navigate that space as well.
Okay. Good job. I mean, it's definitely an upgrade from last year, considering with the partnership. And I understand when you say that you are at home at KCC, then really, really it feels like home from the space, from the people, and even the facilities that are available for you. So have we narrowed down the 20 or not yet?
Not yet.
When do we close the call?
We close the call.
Are we closing already because we're at 100? What's happening? We just need 20.
Yeah, we just need 20, but we can't really close the call now because we also want to see where the gaps are so that we're able to create programs that can speak to the masses moving forward. So yes, we are going to pick 20 and it closes tomorrow. If you haven't applied.
It closes tomorrow, the 20th.
Yes.
Just how long was it open for? A week?
Yeah, it was open for a week. Also, the influx is really, really high. So
it must be way over 100 now. You must be up to 300 or 400.
It's way over 100 because 100 was on the first day.
On the first day.
Yeah. So we are also using that to collect data and be able to develop other programs that can speak to the masses. We've had a lot of people, actually part of the people who are applying, wanting to do specifically just voice work. And then we've got also, we had an age cap of 35, but we've received a lot of applications for 35 and above. And they're all asking, you know, like and there's a big group of people who have left their mainstream employment and now want to get into the craft and they don't know where to start. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah, so there's that group of people that we are now seeing there's a need there, and we'll be developing programs for that specific category of people.
Quick one, that demographic, 35 and above, are they people who were in the ecosystem, left and want to come back, or people who, or are there some who are, I've been an accountant all my life, but I feel I want to do this.
Who've been affiliated, most of them, yes. Not, they were bankers, but they used to write poetry and do stuff like that on the side. There are people who are in media, but they've not gone into acting full time. There are people who are just associated in one way or the other, or they always come to the play to watch plays and stuff, and they want to be also on stage as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job. All the best with the 300, 400 entries. I hope you have a team that will help you sift through that. But being in the industry for 18 years, Mwaura now, there have been milestones. There are things that you've experienced. Kuna watu tulianza set books. We know probably the milestones that we've had to go through, how things have changed. Now, when she said she's been in the industry for 5 years and 3 years zilikuwa set books, as 2 years zilikuwa set book. Nicola, do we count those years or we don't? Because I count them. Do you count them?
I do count.
I count them.
You should.
You should count. Yes, it was like it was my first professional. Yeah. The other ones were, I don't know. But looking at the milestones, probably some of the challenges that probably you've seen, or if you were given probably an opportunity to switch some things up or change some things, what would that be, or what would it look like?
Wow. If I was given the opportunity to change some things,
the
things I would change are personal relationships I've had with some of my producers in the past.
Okay. Yeah. They're there.
Yeah.
They're there. Yeah. Okay.
There's a certain period I think I was really a hothead, and I think sometimes you don't realize praise is a double-edged sword. Yeah. So there was a time I think I wasn't as grounded and conscious of it. So there were times I think I behaved
like a star.
Yeah, no, not loudly.
Okay.
You know, that's why I'm saying it's producer and me. Yeah, it was never loud.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
that would be the only thing. The institution itself, like, you know, the industry itself in general, are there gaps that you see and be like, maybe things could get better? Things have been working for you. There's no hope. You know, it could just be like, we've been thinking about it for a bit and nothing is happening.
No. For the industry, man, it evolves when it evolves.
Okay.
And I have seen, because it evolves when people want to evolve, when people want better.
Yeah.
And people have been progressively wanting better and going for better.
Yeah.
And I have seen change, and it's an interesting and exciting time to be in this. So for the industry, man, it will align itself when we all really want to do better, when all these side shows stop in production. But it's working, man.
It's working. 18 years in, 5 years in, Jackie, what are your sentiments about the same? What does it feel like for you as you navigate getting into the industry kabisa?
Mimi napenda venye nime-evolve. I have evolved quite interestingly, I can say. Also, there's something to do with the money.
Tell us about the money, Jackie.
Well, when you're in set books, when you're out here, there's a difference. There's difference in the money.
Yeah.
And I would say set books has quick money, but if you're ukiendea sana the money, you won't get the skill and you won't grow.
Okay.
Yeah. So personally, when I was doing set books, I was there to learn how to manage my finances. Because the first time I went to a show and I was paid.
Yes.
I don't know where that money went. I don't know. Yes, and we went for a whole month. Tulienda tuka travel for a month, then went back home. But by the time I'm going back home, I have only 1,000 shillings, and I went for like 20 shows, and each show I got paid like 1,000. So I should go back with almost 20,000.
Yeah.
But I have only 1,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I need to go back to set books again.
Money. I will do better this time.
Yes, I will do better, and that's what made me do set books for 2 years.
2 years.
And that's how I learned to manage my money. But now I said, now I know how to manage my money. I need to go out there and grow my skills. Because now when I have because najua kunje,
the money is better.
It's big. Yeah, so I'll be able to manage the big money, because the small one, will learn. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wilfred yako iko vipi? How many, the many years, umekuwa miaka ngapi sasa?
Well, I started acting
6 years, you said.
Yeah, 6 years. So I started in 2019. 2018, drama.
Yeah.
2019, nikaingia set books as well. So nikajituma, nikashika lines, and then COVID came in.
Oof.
So I did like...
Schools are closed.
Yeah, we did 4 shows.
Yeah.
Then 3 shows.
Yeah.
The 4th one nilikuwa extra, sikuwa na hizo lines. So COVID ikaingia, niko like, maybe it's 1 month, 2 month thing. Nilika lines, then COVID haikuwaisha. So after COVID, that 2020 tulika for long, then COVID ikusha. So as a man, nikaanza kupiga mabiashara and all that just to earn a living. So after COVID, ndo nikaingia saa kwa acting now actively, but then nikaenda kwa drama bado.
Yeah.
Set books at the time nilikuwa na feel kama sitaki kufanya hivyo sana because of the exposure.
Yeah.
I think set books inapo exposed to a certain community, but when you want to grow your art to a certain level, then uta have to grow kidogo. So yeah, I did that, and I can say for now it's fun, it's engaging, it's adventurous, and I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I like that you mentioned the producers, because wako hapa na sisi. So we'll find out what that looks like for them before we go on a break. But listening to the things that actors said? Is it different when you are now a producer, that you have to take care of the actors? Probably you have to handle the pressure that comes and buffer them from that in terms of what the industry looks like and the opportunities that are there, you know, mix up with the challenges as well. Stuart, Wakio, you can do rock, paper, scissors and decide who goes first.
I think, okay, for me,
yes.
Oh wow. Listen back and listen.
Secretary wa KAG.
Yes, I actually wanted to talk about community.
Yes.
Because for me, I've been a producer only for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I've produced very small, intimate shows. Yes. A one-person show, 2 people, you know, 2-handers and stuff like that. So it's been a bit, I think he has more experience when it comes to dealing with a massive number of people and how that looks like.
Yeah.
My approach has always been, again, motherhood. Guy, I can't run away from it. I treat everyone in my team as a child of mine, and I wish them the best. But some of them need discipline once in a while. Others need patting in the back. Others need encouragement. It's just to identify the different personalities of the people that you're sharing the room with and seeing how best you can be able to get the best out of them. But one thing that I would tell actors is that being in isolation is not the way to go. You need to belong. So join Kenya Actors Guild.
It was coming to that. Wakio's camera, Nigani, Nigani, number 2, ndio ile.
I am the secretary of the Kenya Actors Guild and also the organizing secretary of the Voice Actors League of Africa Capital. Guys, belonging, being part of a community is the way to go. Because as a collective, you know, Kotu did not get his muscle just from being with one member. So join the Kenya Actors Guild, we muscle up, and we speak to the environment in which you work in.
And how do they join?
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Just go to Kenya Actors Guild. You'll find all the details there on how you can join. There's ways to join. Also follow PTM Storytellers. That's where you can find the link to join Pokeza Skills Program.
All right. Just before we go on a break, we have a bit of feedback on our WhatsApp line as well as our Facebook. Echoes of War is Ukuwehe. Kate Nganga says, Wangu wa Makeri at Kenya National Theatre. Echoes of War, every day in Kenya is a play. Surely, guys. Ituramiro, I don't know which one that is, but you can probably give us more details on that. Do you know it? You don't know it? And you would,
the meaning of the word.
Oh yeah? What is it? I don't know. Okay, cool. So, Philip, can I have the one? Yes, so I'm trying to read. Hello, your world. I am a Form 4 leaver. I am a Form 4 leaver. Where is it? Hello, I'm a Form 4 leaver. I have performed in a drama festival during my time in high school. Currently, I am creating content online. It's March 254. What should I do? What should I also do to improve myself? I'm Brian Monyaka from Kenyatta University. I'm pursuing communication and media studies, and I'm a good script writer, still looking for opportunity out there to share my skill. We will come back to answer these 2 questions on how they can improve their skills and how they can also probably, what do they need to do? We'll have that answered as well. There's one more. We'll come back with this one after the break. So do not go too far. We'll be right here. This is Your World. Welcome back to Your World, a trendy Thursday edition, and we're talking about passing the baton, especially in the theatre fraternity. And we've talked about PSP, Pokeza Skills Program, that intentionally does just that. And we have students, representatives from NPAS and PSP as well. And we have Maura, who in a beautiful, special way, he does that. There's a story about Patiapa during break, which I will not get into, but before we get into that conversation, there's more feedback on our WhatsApp. So, and some questions that were asked just before the break, and we'll have my panelists just help answer these questions. On today's question, On today's question at Your World, there are two classical plays that I like a lot. Aminata by Francis Imbuga, that play. Then Kigogo, Pauline Kerr. Okay, thank you for that feedback. Hi, Job Osoro here. I'm following Your World show on NTV. I have been performing set books for 7+ years, and it's addictive. Yeah. Okay, I want to belong in the KAG. Ask secretary to guide kindly. I'm a big shot when I step on that stage. Being a best actor twice. Now, this is what we mean by shooting the shots. By shooting the shot. So, again, clearly they did not get how Madam Secretary.
Osoro.
Yes.
Enda hapo kwa Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, malipopote tafuta Kenya Actors Guild. Follow us. Alafu kwanza nirushie DM hapo Atrakio Mzenge. Job Osoro, nangojea DM yako. Nikutafute wewe. Big actor.
Big actor.
Twice.
Twice. There's a question earlier about how to improve themselves, and anyone from the floor can just pick it. And how can they make themselves better as actors?
Oh, definitely. I think experience and joining a program.
Yeah, and people will just be like, yeah, experience, I have to get an opportunity to get the experience. So how do they, if you do not have that opportunity probably to be in a play or a show, how can I do that away from all of that? How do I grow myself?
But I think there are loads of small community productions that are going on.
Yeah.
I've been to a number of them, and that will still give you the experience. It doesn't have to be on stage at the National Theatre. It doesn't have to be at Allianz. Even the small productions really will give you the experience that you need as a launching pad to something else, something bigger.
Okay. Anybody else?
Even after you're in schools or you've joined the communities, you still have to read.
Yes.
As much as I didn't want to do theory, I still had to go back to Google and reading books, searching for books to read about acting for stage, for theater and film. So even reading books helps.
So read books, show up in those small productions, yes?
Yeah, do not read just textbooks, read good fiction. Because I've found that good fiction helps you exercise your power of imagination. And when I watch something, I can learn from watching something, but when I watch an actor on stage, I am watching a product. I don't know what process they went through.
That's true.
But when you read good fiction, a good descriptive paragraph can take you on a journey, and that helps as an actor.
Okay.
It's interesting you say that, because there's a time last year but one, I posted on IG and I said, any actor, please read lots of books, because then it helps you to work out your imagination. And I got a comment from Morris the actor.
Yes.
And Morris the actor told me, what about the rest of us who just don't like to read? and yes, I do agree with Maura that this really helps you to work on your imagination. But then, at the end of the day, it's understanding your terrain as a person and identifying what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Because I could tell you all the things from here to Timbuktu, and then they just do not work for you. It's like those people who give you marriage advice.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay, Akio. Let's go.
Are we going with the digestion?
Let's go with it. Are we?
But how do you find yourself?
That's it. Okay.
How do you find yourself? How do you know what works for you, what doesn't? When do you know?
You experiment. You see, when you said, actually you've answered this question, because earlier on you said you found him.
Yeah.
The character you were looking for as the priest when we were doing the play Back to Base, you found him. Instinctively, we do know when we get satisfied. So as you keep searching, you will experiment, you will fail, you will not find it, you will just be moving around in circles. But if you keep on, if you stay persistent in that pursuit of that character, or in that pursuit of knowing what works for you, you will eventually find it. It will click and you'll be like, yeah, like a marriage partner.
Trust your instinct.
Yeah, that's the message you're going with. Just trust your instinct. And you know, we have the trial of Dedan Kimathi starting today. And you've been, the reason I'm bringing it up again is because of marketing. And being loud about the things that we do. There's a conversation we were having earlier today in the makeup room with Wakio, and the conversation around how loud we are as actors when it comes to marketing our jobs, our works, what projects we are in. And so the thing was probably the treatment we are getting or not getting out of the theater space, or out of us knowing each other and how good we are at what we do, is probably because we are not loud enough. So we are not received with some seriousness and some importance. And Wakio was quiet, exactly like she is. And I'm wondering, how does that have to do with people getting into the theaters and watching these shows? Are we loud enough? Are we filling up these spaces? And are we probably carried with the same esteem as the amount of time and work we put into our work? That was a lot.
First of all, why did you say we were in the makeup room? I woke up like this, guys. I was not in the makeup room.
You were just checking on me getting my makeup done. Yeah.
The two things that you brought up. One is the marketing.
Yes.
And secondly is the stardom culture, or the celebrity culture. As Kenya, we really do not have that celebrity culture.
Yeah.
We're not people who get fascinated. Oh, you're on TV. That's not our natural thing to do.
Yeah.
And for me, I actually like it. That we're not, because then you're able to have your privacy, you're able to make your mistakes in peace. And but it's getting there, because you can see, especially with the content creators, the stardom level is really high, and people are knowing about your life, and they're poking holes. And when things happen in your personal life, you have to explain to an audience, why you're making certain decisions in your life. I personally, I don't think that's a space I want to be in. I just want to do the work. I'm just like a banker. The banker is doing their work. They're waiting at the end of the month. They will get employer of the month. They will get their whatever they will get. So as an actor, I just want to do my craft. I just want to do the stuff, and those bodies who are to recognize me, they will recognize me. My peers will recognize me, and I'll be happy, and I'm content with that.
Let me ask the young one. Wilfred, when it comes to marketing and probably the stardom culture, do you think that probably if we were loud enough in what we do, if we were out there recording every little tiny bit, are we doing enough of that? And is it met with the same kind of fascination, if at all we're doing it?
I think it all depends on what you want to achieve for that particular thing you're doing. So if, for example, I have a show and I want to target maybe the country, then my loudness needs to be at a certain level.
Okay.
Maybe if I'm a theater, maybe a school, I want to establish maybe a certain community there, then I just have to maybe print posters, put them on every corridor and all that. So something that I learned during the PSP from Anna, ACTAS as an acronym, you need to be authentic, consistent, you need to have the talent as well, online presence, relationships, and the storytelling.
Students, and the teacher is very happy. Teacher is very happy. Okay.
As an artist, if you can be able to use all that, then you can reach where you want to reach.
Okay. You mentioned something earlier about how the way you marketed the current, most recently was a bit different from, the past. What some of the different things that you employed to make sure that you were hard, and did it translate how you expected it to?
Well, initially I just used to maybe post once, maybe status, Instagram, Evo2, but from PSP to Nilijua that you need to be persistent as well. The way, maybe I can say an organization like, let's say, any brand, maybe we know about Blue Band, but they still do their marketing, they still do adverts.
Yeah, we know about it. Yeah, that's true.
So even me as an artist, bado sijajulikana, then I need to push harder. So ningetexwa to maybe my DM, post more often, and it translated to the income.
Oh, good stuff. Congratulations on that. And Jackie, as a personal brand as well, is this a need for you, and what are you actively doing to just ensure that over and above the headshots, the monologues, and, you know, reading and, you know, putting in the work, it's also to show people that you are putting in the work, that you are here, that you are available. How are you doing that?
As of now, the one thing I'm taking seriously is connections. Going to watch other people's shows. And after nimemaliza kuwatch, don't just go home. Greet the people who are there, who have come to watch the shows. And also, I do monologues and post them on my social media so that some other producers, directors who are there, who don't, maybe for example, film directors who don't come to watch theater shows will see my craft from my Instagram.
So you want to cut across?
Yes. And also being professional in your Instagram. So I mind what I post. Yes.
Okay. Stuart, selling out shows is what you do. Flips here. So what are the strategies that you've used and have worked for you in terms of just talking about it and making sure people know that these are the dates?
It's really difficult to know what you've done, which are the things that have an effect and make somebody come to see a show. We just do as many things as we can and hope that one of those things makes somebody come to see the show. So, for example, we do like interviews like this, we have posters, we have videos. In this one, we had the extra one with Ngugi doing that. We boost stuff on social media a lot. Like for Sarafina, we did the flash mob outside here, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of slightly different for every show, but we just throw a load of stuff out there and honestly just hope that people will come and see it. And we tried to do research into, like, when people are waiting to go into the auditorium, where did they see the show? And then they can't remember. So you can't really, it's like they say, I think my friend told me,
I didn't even buy my own ticket.
On With Carly's show or something like that. So I know that's not a very helpful answer, but I would just do everything. Anything that you think might not be helpful, just do it, because you never know who's going to see it. And even if maybe you have a budget of like 1,000 shillings, use it towards your marketing, invest in your marketing, because look at it like this: if you spend, say, 5,000 on an influencer and you're selling tickets at 1,500, you only need that influencer to have influenced 3.5 people to come and see your show, and they've paid for themselves. So it might seem like a lot of money to come up with at the beginning, but if it's used well, I think you'll get your investment back, definitely.
Okay. Well, Kyo, you recently did a post on Facebook, on Instagram. You know where this is going, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you recently did, and you were very candid on how, like, you put up a show and you made some mistakes, and, you know, you're not sitting back down, you are starting up again, and you're going to Nakuru, and you did a show in Nakuru. But what are some of the things that you have learned when it comes to putting up show? Because, I mean, BTM is fairly new, but you've been consistent in terms of, like, just making sure that there are shows up and running with your L's and wins and everything in between.
Yeah. So I did the show Elements in Nairobi before last year, and I had this ambitious plan to take it on a tour around the country, which I'm still doing. And the first stop was Mombasa, and the idea was also to combine all my my strengths together. So I wanted to go train, capacity build at the same time. So I was using different actors in the different places that I was going to go. And in Mombasa, I was working with the amazing Stephanie Maseki. And I remember when I came up with that plan to tour Elements, the writer himself, John Sibyokumu, told me, "Are you mad?"
Yeah, I can see him saying exactly that way.
And then my friend here, seated right next to me, echoed that. Echoes of war.
Echoes of war.
It echoed here, and he said, I think you're mad. And I think I was mad. Now, in introspect, when I look at it, because I made quite a number of mistakes with that tour. And I was, as you said, I was candid, and I felt that it might help somebody else who plans to tour the shows, because that's our channel of distribution when it comes to theater. We don't have mainstream media where, you know, like National Theatre at Home, where we will shoot our shows and then they will be streaming. We have to take them to the people. So touring is our way to distribute our plays. And one of the things that I learned most is that you can't be caught up in what excites you. Which for me is the creative process. And I was so focused on how we're going to do the show and working with that actor and those aha moments of seeing her marvel at my direction or her discovering something as we're doing the script, and
moments of magic.
Those moments of
magic.
Exactly, those moments of magic, and that was my absolute focus. I didn't think about the marketing. I just thought
they will come. I mean,
you know, this is a
we
great
need a good
play.
show.
This is a great play. Maseki is an amazing actor. You know, I'm not too bad myself. Like, come on, guys,
shut up.
But I realized that also it's different in different geographical settings. The way people in Mombasa consume art is not the same way that people in Nairobi consume art. The cultures are also very different. And so doing a study of that market before you take your show is of absolute importance. And that's what happened when I went to Nakuru. I took time to understand how that the space operated, what people wanted to consume, how they consume also information. So which platforms do I use to do the marketing? Are they always on social media, or they need you to move from, you know, on the ground? They want to see posters. Do they want to buy on online platforms, or they want, you know, hard copies of tickets that they want to keep as souvenirs? So you have to really just do your own research on that market before you take a show anywhere else. Trust you me, please. Do that. Otherwise, you will come back.
Self-confessions on air.
Have another Instagram post.
I agree. I was mad. Mpambe Mpendwa. You've created a brand, and online, it never used to be like this, Maura. You never used to post a lot back in the day. And then all of us, I don't know what happened, but there was a shift. And you loved Kiswahili, and you'd talk a lot in Kiswahili. You'd carry Taifa Leo. There was a lot of that happening. Uko 20 ngone asiai uko Bali. But you are actively on social media now.
Actively is
relative. No, in comparison, more active.
Yes.
More active.
I've had an interesting relationship with technology as a whole, not just social media. But I don't know. I'm usually conflicted. I come from the school of thought. A similar school of thought. I just want to work. Just want to do a good show and go home. Just like that guy, Wajua Kali. He will pound on that piece of iron until it becomes a sufuria that Mama Samaki will use and pass down to generations. However, understanding our terrain again, we live in. Back in the day, again, I was spoiled because I came into the industry when working with FCA, Festival of Creative Arts, Abuto Mbeki, and everyone else. We had shows back to back. Every month. You know, we would rehearse for 3 weeks, perform, take a 2-day break, literally. No, actually, a 1-day break, Monday. Tuesday we are back. And so there wasn't really need for extra marketing of self. And then now we get to a place where sometimes you work and you take a break. And this being loud, this noise, making noise about yourself, blowing your own trumpet as it is, it does open up other avenues, revenue streams for making income. So I think that was the thing that necessitated the shift for me. Although bado. Una feel my last post on IG,
can I check?
My God. I checked yesterday, I was like, oh!
February, tarehe 14. Valentine's Day.
Post.
Akio. Yeah, let's not do that. Yeah. We've got about 2 minutes to the end of the show, but yeah.
I'm looking for someone to help me.
Yeah. Good
because
stuff.
Personally, say I'm on set.
Yeah.
We've had this battle with Stuart. Even honestly, when I'm on set, I'll forget my phone. I'll even place it somewhere.
Yeah.
And 3 hours later, someone is like, "Who's phone?" And someone already knows. So I'm actively looking for someone to help me.
That's true. At least you have a smartphone. When back in the day, Katululu, that's true. It was a Katululu. That's what he used to use. And I need your parting shot and everybody's parting shot before we come to the end of the show. So what would be the last thing? And you can tie it to the show that's starting today.
Live life.
Hey, okay, that's it.
Live life. Do your thing. And relationships. I think I'm at a place in life where human capital, your social capital,
is
making much more sense to me now than before. So, yeah. Could you only watch Dedan, the trial of Dedan Kimathi? Thank you very much.
Asante sana, Wakio, your parting shot.
I would say just invest in yourself. Invest in yourself in all aspects of your life. Social, spiritual, career-wise. Put something. You don't expect it to just grow out of nowhere. You have to plant a seed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Stuart?
I would also kind of back that up and say that it's not as easy as just turning up and just acting the way a lot of people think it is. It's not a joke. It's a business. And it's, as somebody said, it's called show business for a reason.
That's true.
And invest in yourself and take it seriously.
Great. Dates for this show, running till when, and how can we get tickets?
From today until the 29th, so 2 weekends, and get tickets from Kenya Buzz.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Jackie?
I'll leave everyone with this one sentence that I heard from Faiz Francis Ouma in a workshop I went. He said, if you want to go far, have your fare.
Have your fare? Yeah. Otherwise... Watakushukisha?
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. Wilfred.
So mine will go to the people in the art space. That is brand. As an acronym, be yourself, research, analyze feedback, and then distribute.
Hey, hiyo ilikuwa pia PSP. Okay, thank you so much for coming through, Mwaura. Asante sana, Wakio, asante Stuart, asante Jackie, amazing. I'll be watching you this weekend. No, next weekend. Wilfred, thank you so much for coming through. And for our audience as well, asanteni sana for joining us today on this Kindly Thursday. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow, same time tomorrow. Basi ni yani kesho, sijui kama mko tayari. Kesho, same time, same place. Nawapenda sana. Adios.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye bye.